Hi, today I'm going to show you how you can use BaaS to create your own custom backend services within minutes. Let's say I want a backend service for an app I'm creating, which is uh, just a simple app, which is like to-do list. For this, let's create a new project and name it something cool like Task Backend and just click on create. It will ask you for enable authentication. Right now, I don't need any authentication, so I'll just leave it that now. Whenever we create any project, our server creation process will be started and it will take around 5 to 10 minutes of time to just build and deploy those services on our GCP servers. So let's wait for them and I'll continue again. So after creation of your project will land upon a database view. So database view consists of all the tables which we have in our backend. So currently by default, we'll create your users table, which will contain all the users of your backend server. This will be needed when you turn on your authentication on your APIs. So let's leave it for now and just create our new tables. For our task of backend, I'll be needing one table, which is list, which will consist all the list that I have created. So let's just give it a name attribute, which should be data type of string, and let's just create a list table. So after creating, we'll be getting this list table, which is having a column name and ID created and updated. These ID created and updated will be by default for any table which you create. So now let's create another table, which is task, which will contain all the tasks which will add into our system. So for any task, let's say I want it to have name, I want it to have a description, I want it to have a next reminder, and I want to have a expired set. Now let's just quickly create this table by clicking create. Now we currently have two tables, which is one is list and another is task. Now to create a relationship between them, what we need to do is we can just create a foreign key on it. So my schema should be like many tasks should belong to one list. So what I need to do is I need to create a foreign key. So how we can just create a new column here, and for creating column just click on this plus and select add foreign key. Now select a target table, which should be in our case list, and relation should be has many. So a list has many tasks. This will create a list underscore id column inside our task. So let's just quickly create that. And after creating our two tables, which is list and task, let's move on to API section. And there we can see all the by default 5 CRUD APIs which we pre-made for you. So list read all up to list delete and task read all up to task delete. So we can use these all pre-made APIs to generate or to read data from our database. So how we can use this? So this is your API URL. We can just use this one. And whenever we try to hit this using a get method, we'll get a response something like this. So inside a data key, we'll get all list because this will bring all the list, which is an array. Similarly, if I want task, I will just use this one and send, and I will just get all task, which is a array. Now let's quickly just give you a brief example of creating a list. So in this sample request is data, which is it requires only name, which should be of string type. So let's just copy this one and set the method at post and give it a JSON body with data, and data should contain a name key, and let's just give today's list. Okay, and if I click on send, what it will do, it will just create a new list. So inside a data key I'll get a create list key. Inside that a new, which is the list which is created, it will just give me the object of that. So now if I move to database, I'll just go to list, and I will see ID1, name today's list, created it, updated it. So we can use this API to generate many different types of data inside our database. And we can use this APIs to create, read, update, or delete, which is the basic functionality of any backend server. So using this, you can just generate any backend server within minutes. There are many different other functionalities which we provide inside BaaS, which is functions. So functions, as name suggests, are a simple function which can be used multiple times inside an API. So let's just get a function like return untitled name, untitled name, and just return untitled here, untitled. Okay, and let's just save this one. So now return untitled name. What I can do is I can just go to any list, let's say this create list, and I will just write here request dot body equals data which has a name which is, and now for using any function we have a new keyword in BaaS which is func. So func dot untitled return untitled name and call that function. Okay, let's just fix this one and save this one. So this time I won't be needing any of this. So what I can just do is I will just use this, remove this one, and do a post on this and giving send. It will just give me name untitled. So this time I didn't provide any name, but I got this untitled from my custom function which I've already created. So a simple use case would be to generate random user IDs or IDs, unique IDs for your rows. So in this way, you can use this function, and you can use this function inside prescript, postscript, and also on multiple different APIs as well. So this will give you a flexibility of making different APIs, custom APIs using this one. So any API will give you API URL, one prescript, one postscript, and middle of that would be a GraphQL query. This query runs on all of our APIs. Let's say create, this will run create mutation, read, it will run read query. So similarly, you can create your own custom APIs if you want, like this one. Here you will get a query which is empty GraphQL query. You can write your own query here, write a prescript for it, write a postscript if you need, then just click on save and your API will be created. You can use that API for in your UI to get data accordingly. Now, moving on to the last section, which is settings. Here we have import npm packages, and we can already see already and added npm packages here like Lodash, JSON Web Token, Axios, and Express File Upload. You can use these all, and also you can install your own npm packages by just searching on it. Let's say I want to add a nano ID. I will just search on this, and I will get a list of uh, packages which you can install, and just clicking on plus, it will just add it here. Now, so moving on to dev, we have a project name. You can change your project name here and save it. You can see your host address, which is the base address of your server. You can download your logs by clicking on from where do you want to up to where do you want that log should be, and you can just download this one. This logs will be sent to your email. Now, next section is add-ons. We currently provide three add-ons as of now, which is Redis, RabbitMQ, and New Relic. You can just enable them by just toggling this one and adding the specific environment variable values below it. So let's say, for example, for Redis, we need Redis connection string in environment variable. So whenever we start Redis, by default Redis connection string will be added and a value for it will be added. So if you want to change this value, you can change this and save on it. So whenever you do this, this will be activated on your server. Similarly, authentication, you can enable this one, and this will require these two keys which you need to provide here and save it. So using all these features, one can make a really good backend application which can be used in any UI application.